Hello to all the Atlanta United fans. My name is Jurgen Damm, and you are watching Scarves and Spike, an Atlanta United podcast.
Welcome to the Scarves and Spikes. It is our match review show. We discuss Atlanta United's 2-2 draw against FC Cincinnati at TQL Stadium on Sunday afternoon. Sunday and Tommy with you. Tyler going to be joining us a little bit late this episode, but Tommy, we're talking about a draw. Could have been worse. Could have been a win. Could have been better. But in the end, talking about a draw, shared points between the two teams, the two sides, if you will. Good result, bad result, in between.
It was a great result, and it was fun being at the game. There was a good turnout. Kind of shocking for a March game in Ohio. I didn't think a lot of people were going to show up. Just usually when they come to Cincinnati, it's decision day. I think we had like back-to-back years in Cincinnati on decision day. So it's always the end of the year. So people are always really excited to come out and at the end of the year, but there was a good group there.
Good.
We had one Cincinnati fan that was in the same like row as other Atlanta United fans, and he was going back and forth with other Atlanta fans. Though right when Cincinnati tied the game, he got kicked out.
Oh no.
He got kicked out of the game. And someone from Atlanta called the security people because you knew that was how I thought they were coming for Atlanta fans. I'm like, oh no, here we go. But then they kicked the guy out. It was a fun time. Got to hang out with a bunch of Atlanta fans.
That wasn't you, was it?
It was not Tommy. No, it was not. It was not me. It was not me at all.
Good.
I was having fun after the game. Got to hang out with some other Atlanta United supporters. JD hung out with us for a while. We had fun, hit some bars up afterwards.
Nice.
But the day was great. The night was fine. Yeah. I felt like an old man. I went back into my hotel room by 10:30. Responsible Tommy. I did go to Waffle House. I posted in the Discord. I went to the Waffle House, and I will call this scenario. Well, I'll make it real quick because I know we got to get to the game. I'll call it the Waffle House incident of 2025.
Uh-oh.
The Waffle House did not agree with me, and I must have found I had to get off on an exit. Just put it that way. I went into the most most disgusting bathroom that I have ever been in. It was terrible. Anyways, I get back home, and I went to go find like something to settle my stomach. And I thought I just wasn't paying attention, and I took the opposite of making your stomach better pill to make your stomach worse pill. So if there's a smoke bomb and the screen goes off, I apologize. Everyone knows now that it's the Waffle House's fault.
Well, are you feeling better today? Are you feeling better?
No,
today?
that happened. That's today. I just took it like 45 minutes ago. So I drugged myself on accident. So we don't know what's going to happen here. And so I'm a mess. And then I put this jersey on and I see how the mic is going. And it's not working. The whole day is not working out.
If you're listening after the fact on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeart, what does the jersey actually say?
It's supposed to say Fighting Ducks.
Fighting Ducks.
But it's missing something. So it just looks like it says, the mic makes it look like it just says
you could visualize it in your head how the mic is. So
my bad. But it was a fun trip. Beautiful weather out there. 55 degrees in Ohio is fantastic. It wasn't raining because it wasn't the game wasn't in Columbus. It actually was raining in Columbus yesterday. Yeah. But it wasn't raining in Cincinnati. But look, a 2-2 result on the road with a lot of your best players missing. It was fantastic. I don't care how it happened. I don't care that it was an own goal there. There was obviously some weird goals for Cincinnati, the deflection. why does MLS and why does this always happen to Brad that he allows a goal and they always have to post a video of it and he
Right.
just looks so ridiculous. They always he always is like the face that he makes when the goal goes in.
Are you
Like
talking
when
about the free kick?
the free
Vander
kick that got
scored?
deflected, like he just falls back and like the face that he makes, he does it every single time that a weird goal goes in. He looks so silly and it's fantastic. I love it.
It's unfortunate, but again, could have been worse, Tyler. Could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Could have been win.
You could have ate Waffle House and it destroyed you.
Like it did Tommy. Tyler, before we get to you, Tyler, scarsandspikes.com is your place for all things Lady United news, analysis, opinion, and more. Patreon.com/scarsandspikes. Join it up. Get access to our Discord. Get access to bonus content, bonus video, audio content, watch-alongs, happy hours, what have you. We had one. Tyler was hosting. I was out of town, wasn't able to make it, but we'll host those throughout the season. More to come on that. But yeah,
great turnout.
Great turnout, I hear. Great
Good
turnout. And you can be a part. Patreon.com/scarsandspikes. Link to our store is also on scarsandspikes.com. Different ways to support what we do here at Scars and Spikes.
I'll be right back. I got to show my souvenir that I got down there. I'll be right back.
Well,
take me off screen. You guys talk.
We'll mute you. We'll do what we need to. We'll talk among ourselves.
This isn't the Waffle House. I promise. I got to go get something else.
You're good. Tyler, good result, bad result. 2-2 against FC Cincinnati on the road, shorthanded.
I mean, it's fair. I think all things considered, from Atlanta's perspective, I mean, you gave up another silly goal, off of a free kick, but you kind of have to expect that when you have, a young guy playing out of position, and I'm never going to get mad at somebody going in trying to assert their authority, but you also have to be a little smarter about where you do it.
Right. Especially against Evander.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so frustrating about it is it always tends to be free kick specialists that Atlanta gives free kicks to just outside the top of the box. And to be fair, they set up the wall, things were right, and it's insult to injury for Matt, right? Because it takes a deflection off of his head, and that's why it goes in.
Right.
It is what it is. It happens. The second goal is the one that pisses me off, honestly, because it was just such disorganization. That you got punished. Like you got punched in the mouth by the dumb, free kick goal, and then you couldn't get your head screwed back on straight to stop the second goal. And I think that one irritates me, honestly, more than anything. And then going the other way, I mean, you had a heads up play by Cayman Togashi to take the quick throw in. Saba puts in a good cross. Like that was fundamental soccer, and I love it. And and then you get a little bit of luck that does go your way to pull the draw because you have the own goal.
Elvis Powell for that goal.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I think it all kind of evens out. It probably should have been a 1-1 draw, not a 2-2 draw, but it's a point on the road, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Right. I think the only thing that biggest point of contention with all of it though is just it's not that you're struggling and barely getting by with some of these games. I think it would be easier if you just sucked, but you're playing really good soccer for most of the match. And then you're giving everybody, the players included and fans, like a little taste of the apple. But then you just can't quite get it over the line. And I think that's where it becomes a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, because it feels like all these games, man, you should be coming out with more points than you've had.
Yeah, but you take the breaks as you can get them, right?
I mean,
goal. I mean, if that doesn't go in, I mean, right, we're having a different conversation. We're like, what the heck? This team went away and lost another match and put themselves further behind the 8 ball. But at this stage in time, it's not like it's time to panic for a Lady United. But at this stage in time, you take the breaks as you can, especially with the team being so shorthanded. Latte Lot, you mentioned the goal earlier that Togashi helped set up. Latte Lot scoring again. So he's lifted up to the billing. That's 2 It's 2 goals in as many matches for him. It's this sort of, and I say this not to say that he's been struggling, but it's this, are we starting to see this attack start to percolate just a little bit? Strikers love confidence. They live and die off of confidence. If they're low confidence, they don't score. If they're high confidence, the net ends up looking like it's 100 feet wide, right? It's this latte lot building confidence, and that's something to look forward to as the season progresses. Especially,
he made that finish look way easier. I talked about this on Spaces yesterday, but that was not an easy finish. Like it was deceptively difficult because the angle that it comes in at, he has to take it like kind of in a weird stride, and it comes off, I think, his left foot, and he's able to direct it like perfectly. But that was not an easy finish. And so yeah, I mean, you got to give him credit. He's that should be the difference between a DP and a non-DP, or a $22 million DP and a whatever $4 million. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you got to give him credit because he's doing the job. 4 goals in 5 matches is solid.
Third in the Golden Boot. I think there's 4 players tied with 4 goals.
I think so.
I said on the pre-show, plus 240 for one of the best strikers in the league. I'll take that any day.
All day.
How much any day.
How much did you win again?
About 400, I think. The combination of or 300, but I also picked first goal scorer as well.
Easy money. It's like club seating for the next match, right? Well, maybe not.
Well, we'll get into this homestand coming up here soon, because there was a comment in there that's saying, we haven't won since the opener.
Yeah.
In reality, that's not. I mean, it's nice to get the point on the road in this specific situation, and I feel like we've had this exact same conversation last year, but we didn't get the point. But they got to start racking up wins here. A 3-game homestand coming up against some teams that aren't terrible.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get things together here. And Miamba was fantastic in that game. I was coming on to the watch along to say how.
All right, real quick, you said they're not terrible. News. They played Dallas and New England, so after NYCFC, so maybe
New York,
not terrible. They're horrible, especially if you're New England. Go on. Sorry.
Miamba was great. I thought he was fighting for the ball, getting it back, making the runs. He was doing. When I said last week while I was drinking that he was player of the match, I meant for this one. I was predicting that was going to happen in the next game.
Good foresight.
And he, besides the injury, I thought he had a perfect 10 out of 10 half. I thought he was great. And now he's probably going to be missing some time. He got carded. He couldn't even walk off. Was that what I heard it over the loudspeakers, because that's when I went to go get my thing I'm going to show you in a moment here. But was he not even able to walk off?
No, he got stretchered off.
Yeah. Here we go again. Like last year, Muyimba getting injured. I mean, you have Click. Let's talk about Click real quick. I mean, he's still struggling with injury. Yes, Leash at least coming back against NYCFC. But Muyimba, unfortunately, Tyler, you kind of hinted at it. Doesn't look like it's going to be anything short term. We hope it is, but you potentially, if Click isn't ready for NYCFC or he's not 90 minutes fit for whatever reason, obviously you have Fortune stepping into that spot. But again, sort of mirror image of last year when you had to go out and then Fortune stepped in. So unfortunate on the part of Muyimba, certainly, but
I thought he was great. Yeah, I agree. And it sucks. I feel like it's right when he started to hit his stride. I mean, this midfield has a lot of depth. You got Salish. You've got Fortune. You have Click. He's got to stay healthy. You have to have a conversation. I know that's been like the hot button topic. I feel like we spent a lot of time on it yesterday and then like in the Discord and all, but if there's a way to keep Alexei Miranchuk on the field and make him more effective, maybe he becomes a deeper lying midfielder. So then if that's the case, that adds another body there. And then Will Riley, the best player on the field yesterday. So I think you have to start having a conversation. I mean, it's one game. but you got to give him credit where it's due. He had a great game yesterday. I thought he was, and it wasn't like you come into the match and you just kind of play like extra athletic and you kind of have like a chip on your shoulder. Like he was playing very intelligently, and I think that's what really impressed me about him the most. And so if he continues to have performances like that, that's another body in the midfield. So, you're starting to rack up lots of guys and lots of decisions that have to be made there. So,
Yeah, but your point about dropping him back deeper defensively in the midfield. I mean, yes, you could. It's not what you brought him in for, though. Like, you brought him in as a 10. So let's say you do that. Hypothetically, let's say you do that. Let's say you put Almiron at the 10. So what do you put Saba on the left, or Saba on the left and Silva on the right? What do you do?
I would,
or switch them around?
I think
Saba on the right, I should say.
I think you can't get caught up in the idea that just because it's, somebody got brought here as a particular position that they have to stay there. I think they have to go where they're going to be most effective for this particular team. And if you can get a $13 million performance out of him as a connecting number 8, as opposed to a $500,000 performance as a number 10, which is what you're getting right now, admittedly, then you got to at least try it, because I know we've, people mention like the buyouts or like loaning him out. Like those are the nuclear options that you have. That's like a last resort. So if you can fit him in somewhere, and I think to his strength, playing that kind of connector role, like I think he kind of thrives on that a little bit. He's struggling right now to be a playmaker in this team. And so if he has to be the guy that, you know how good he is at receiving the ball, making turns and playing through balls at times, I think maybe having that number 8 kind of role maybe takes a little bit of the pressure off of him. Then you move Miggy over, you put Saba back on the right where he excelled yesterday. And then the left wing is the wild card that you got to figure out.
Yeah, but isn't Click your connecting number 8 though?
I mean, if he can get on the field.
Yeah, that's another story.
Yeah.
Like, what's
I think like it's a little bit of like a frustration because you do have so many bodies there potentially. Even if you take away the hypothetical Miranchuk situation, like you still have a lot of guys at the 8 and 6 role. I think we were expecting to see a lot of Slish and Click as like the pair, but you got to find something that's a little more cohesive. And if Click can't stay healthy, which we're 5 games in, I mean, he might be fine after this and be good for another, 29 games or whatever. But I mean, I think you've got to try the $13 million guy out everywhere you can until you just can't do it anymore.
Defensive back. Center back.
Please don't do that.
Tommy size are as big as saucers right now.
We're not at that level of desperation yet.
Not yet.
You don't break the glass at this point, but you're trying to find the hammer to break the glass.
Right. What do you guys make of Edwards, by the way? Kind of switching gears. What do you guys make of Matt Edwards at center back? I mean, you didn't really have any options, right? I mean, Tyler, you mentioned he concedes the free kick to Evander, and the ball deflects out of him on the free kick. Outside of that, what did you guys make of him? He played center back with the 2s, obviously. First start at center back, though, in MLS. Good, bad, in the middle. Thoughts?
I mean, I didn't think he was bad. I think he's going to get blamed for a lot because of the mistake, right? But besides that, like, because the second goal, that was another one where it was just everybody kind of fell apart. I think positioning, I would be curious after the goal, the first goal, and I think the second, because they were like back to back. I noticed him pushing way higher to defend at moments. Like he, as a center back, he was almost at like center circle, to help kind of press and win the ball back, which is risky, right? Like in theory, that should be like your number 6 or your number 8 kind of handling those balls. But, if that's something he was told to do by Diallo, that was kind of like a positioning thing. I don't know. But I mean, I think overall, like it wasn't bad. He's going to get dinged, like I said, for the accidents. But besides that, I don't think it was bad.
Well, Jack put in the comments here that he doesn't think he's ready for MLS. And I do. I think that he's great depth, cheap depth on a team where you're going to spend close to the cap, every single season. You need a player like that. And if he could put in some good performances or just, have the occasional start or having to come in and kill some minutes at the end of a game, he's perfect for it. Now he's got to get more experience, but I haven't said this guy doesn't belong here at all right. In this season here, and he's had to play more than what we expected. He's had to make some emergency starts, and hey, we've seen worse for emergency starts in the past. And Riley, I mean, same with him. Like you gotta bring someone up to play this, and I thought that he looked great.
Yeah,
and I love the comments, the question, Tyler, the question that Doug asked about thinking about taking him out of the game.
Oh yeah, and Dyla was like, why would I take the best player out of the game?
Because he was on a yellow.
Right.
Yeah,
and you get a little bit nervous about that because I feel like even with MLS, and I don't know, how like in baseball a lot of times, or even in any sports league, the young kids tend to not get the favorable calls. So maybe you're just a little bit nervous that the kid's going to make a mistake, and maybe the veteran doesn't get the second yellow, but the kid would. I understand that, but if he's doing well and he's not, what was it, Miomba a couple of years ago in Columbus, where it was just like everything that he did was going to get that second yellow in the playoffs. Like
Right.
it wasn't that scenario at all. Like it wasn't. It never felt like that second yellow was going to come for him, and he was still able to play aggressive. He was still able. He's a very smart player from what I've seen. If he's got to play some more minutes here, down the line, I'm excited to see what he can bring here.
Hopefully,
he just looks like a badass too. Like the faces that he makes, like would be like the guy I would not want to mess with on the field at all.
Honestly, we need that. Atlanta United needs players like that to get.
We've been saying it for years. Jeff Larentowicz left, and you just don't have the guy that's going to get in everyone's face. And you know what? If the kid's got to do it, great.
Yeah, like Dan was saying earlier, about how he felt that Riley was putting in better performances before he went to Stanford than Jay Fortune. And I mean, that's an argument for another day, but I think they both have their strengths, right? Like,
yeah.
But I do like the attitude. Will Riley and to be fair, Matt Edwards shows the attitude and personality. Look, both of them showed more personality in that match yesterday versus Cincinnati than the entire U.S. men's national team has in this entire international break. I'm not trying to get on my soapbox, but it's freaking
fire poach.
God,
we fire poach. I don't know.
No, it's pathetic.
But
it's pathetic.
Awful. That is piss poor soccer. God, it was so frustrating. Dude.
Maybe it's not the manager's fault.
Well, if only 35 people show up to SoFi Stadium, did the game actually happen?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding. But
that's for another day.
We got a U.S. men's national team podcast.
Yeah, that's real. Just
that's
so
scarves. Is it scarves?
Stars and stripes. Yeah. Scarves and stripes.
Wasn't that one of our things that we were talking about?
Yeah.
That was one of our names a long time ago.
Yeah. So I guess who else stood out on Saturday? I mean, we talked about Riley. We talked about Edwards. Latte Lot, of course, scored. Tyler, you said Togashi set up that goal that Latte Lot scored in the first half. Had to come in, obviously, as a quote-unquote, you mentioned again, emergency options. He had to come in the emergency. He's your third striker, but he had to come in because he needed the body out there after Muba came off and did very well. Set up, again, his quick throw and set up Latte Lot's goal. I like Togashi. I like what he can bring to the table. Different player than TRA, but it's a good signing for what he is and what he has been able to do for Atlanta United. Had a good preseason, but
yeah, he got an assist for it. I mean, my biggest thing about Togashi is every moment that I've seen him play, even in the preseason, I just like that he played. One, he's very energetic, very aggressive, but he plays fundamental soccer. And if anybody was on the spaces yesterday, I'm sorry because I'm about to repeat a little bit of what I said, but I really enjoy when I see professional players take a step back and play fundamentals.
Yeah.
Like in any sport, really. It's not just soccer, but like as a kid, one of the things that's kind of drilled in your freaking head, like play to the whistle
Right.
and be aware. And being aware, part of it is like when the ball goes out, when it's a throw in, normally for most teams, especially Atlanta, your fullbacks, maybe a midfielder is taking the throw in. He sees Cincinnati out of position and he immediately runs for the ball. Doesn't even give, the ref a chance to argue whether or not it went out on him or whatever, but picks it up, makes the throw, sees Saba making the run and finds Saba. Great throw. Saba, great reception, plays it in. And then again, we already talked about Latte Life making the finish, which was phenomenal. Like the whole thing, it just made me happy from a fundamental soccer standpoint. And I think it's so easy for like professionals to just kind of forget about that crap sometimes. And you can't, man. Like that's doing the fundamentals right can make a mediocre player really good.
And how many times did it happen to us?
Yes, exactly.
Where the quick throw happens and everybody, instead of playing the ball, they're looking at the ref, yelling at him that they started. And then what happens? Goal.
Exactly.
Yep.
I said it I came in the watch long. I said, finally, we're not playing checkers. We're playing chess. It's something so small, but something so small got us the lead for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, good for him to get the attacking or get the assist on first assist in MLS. And hopefully more to come. Hopefully more goals to come for him, by the way. Comment in the chat, can Togashi play the left wing? You may need him to, considering how light you are in that spot. But
try it.
Well,
you want
should we
see
get
him
to
there?
the wingers? Should we get to the wingers? Because I think there's one to praise and there's one that unfortunately just wasn't it for me. Saba was great. I thought Saba was fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of his best games of the year. On the right, which is where he's thrived. Silva, though, we said it on Wednesday that this was his opportunity to show that he can play that in the starting lineup, make a difference. I didn't see the difference.
It didn't work for me. It wasn't enough for me. I think, like to your point, I felt like Alexei Miranchuk and Xande Silva both had really golden opportunities in this match to make it harder for Dyla to not play them. Which and to be fair, Miranchuk has a little bit of a step because he's the $13 million DP. Like he's going to get played until he can't get played anymore. But Xande Silva, like he has kind of worked his way out. This was an opportunity to put yourself right back in that conversation, and I just don't think he did enough to snatch that spot back, even with Edwin Mosquera out. I mean, like he's going to get time because of Edwin Mosquera's injury.
And just real quick, it was exactly what Derek Williams said after the Miami loss. Guys are going to be coming in that don't normally play, like your Silvas, like your Mosqueras is injured. Guys like that who don't see the field, they're up to them to show that they need to step up and perform. But fortunately, it sounds like Silva didn't do that. And how many times have we seen with him? He's a player with tremendous talent, guys, but he hasn't been able to put it all together. Of course, he's a playoff hero last season, but he's not been able to put everything together and make it work.
He was the lowest rated attacker on FOTMob for Atlanta.
I thought it was too high too for him.
You saw it?
Score?
6.9.
6.9.
While we all love the score here at Scarves and Spikes,
great restraint, by the way,
of that specific score,
restraint.
He's either there's no medium with him. He's either the hero. He looks amazing, causing chaos nonstop, taking on defenders. And if you don't remember that, there was maybe a game and a half, probably not even like a full 90 minutes worth last season of him doing that. But if you remember, if you go all the way back to 2023 when he came in, you were seeing that every 2 out of 3 games that he came in. there'd be that one game he'd disappear, but he was aggressive in those games that he was successful at. And you're like, all right, we like this guy. We've got our left wing. And it hasn't been there. I understand. And we said last season, we found out at the end of the year, it was a long-term injury throughout the entire season. He was playing through it. That's why he had limited minutes. I was coming in as a sub, had some good opportunities, but it hasn't been there consistent. I can't see him starting a game and being effective long enough for him to be worth it here. You need something else over there. And unfortunately, you've just run into this situation now of Almiron and Runchuk and where they're going. But you need Saba on the right. So how do you make this work?
Do you loan Silva out? Do you bring in a left wing that you know can perform and make things happen on that side? Because it's kind of been a place that hasn't ended up for Atlanta United. You got to have somebody who can connect with Amador and build that chemistry with Amador on the left if you're a left winger. And Silva, I mean, granted, he doesn't see the field all that much with Saba on the left, Miggy on the right. He did against Cincinnati, but do you loan him out? Do you bring in another option? You have money to do it if you need to kind of make a move to strengthen yourselves on the left side, or maybe you trade Silva and bring in somebody that can really ignite your team. Not ignite your team, but bring in a reliable depth option, a second left winger at that part. Dylan saying in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
Well, sorry, I was just saying, Dylan saying in the chat, Luke Brennan is an option for the left. Luke Brennan's kind of stuck behind, Silva at this point. I mean, I feel like he's your third left winger at this point.
I mean, I think you got to try him.
Yeah, why not bring him in and see what the kid can do? He'll be at least hungry to do it because he's not gotten as many opportunities with Atlanta United as he feels, I'm sure, he deserves. So is that a lever that you pull if you're Atlanta United? Dan's saying put Miggy on the left. Is that a position that Miggy's comfortable with playing at this point in his career? I would much prefer, if Atlanta does anything, I would much prefer Miggy as the 10 and then figure out what your situation is on the wings. But this is kind of a selection quandary that Ronnie Dial has found himself in, isn't it?
The front office has found themselves in.
The front office, too.
But they need to figure something out. You need something consistent there. Like, if Brennan comes in and is consistent, great. You're also depending on a young player to be able to have that position in a team that is supposed to be an MLS Cup contender. I think you have to go out and find someone if this isn't going to work out. And this is Silva's last year, right? Is there an option for next season?
I don't think so.
But do you think he's here for a couple more?
No. Yeah. I'm saying, like, I don't think he's got an option.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think, but I mean, we have to look.
I mean, if it makes that much of a difference in the cap, I mean, I don't know about that. Like, do you use the buyout just to open up a little extra space on there?
He does have an option, for 26. So, okay. I mean, he's a TAM player. I mean, do you buy him out as a TAM player? I mean, he did with Etienne, I think. Well, no,
he had extra years on the contract, though.
Yeah,
that was long-term relief.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just need to do something with Silva. Yeah, he's not turning up the way he should when you need him to turn up. And I agree with you guys. It would have been a great opportunity for him against Cincinnati and didn't take it. And again, going back to what Williams said, guys need to take their opportunities. If you're in there, if you're not in there as much, when you get in there, you need to take your opportunities. And I think he was one of the players that did it.
I see Dan's comment saying Brennan is a right winger, which is true, naturally a right winger. I mean, he's actually played significant minutes with the twos as a left winger too.
Yeah.
I think, one of the criticisms that often comes up with Luke Brennan is he is very right-footed. And so it kind of depends on how you would want to use him. And I mean, you're not going to put him over on the left to be the guy that's going to put in crosses. Thankfully, you have a guy over there, Pedro Amador, who can do that for you.
Right.
But if you want somebody that's going to cut in and maybe be a little bit more of a dynamic, attacker, which is what you kind of want out of Silva and Edwin, maybe Luke Brennan's the guy that gets it right, or is a little bit more effective at it. But it is a tough thing. And I saw Omar's comment a little while ago too about, they got to find somebody who's naturally left-footed, stop inverting the wingers, which I'm not opposed to either. But again, that's where you got to get into going and finding somebody. But you have hungry twos players that are ready. And I think at some point you got to start thinking about giving them some time.
You got to be careful. Riley. Yeah. You got to be careful. You don't want to throw anybody in there that's not ready.
But Luke is ready, though. I mean, Luke
is. Yeah, he's been waiting for the shot for a while. He's been waiting for the shot for a while. So, so I guess what else stood out to you guys from Saturday? Tommy got a souvenir. What souvenir did you get?
We saw people. Have you seen the movie Beer Fest?
Yes.
No.
Okay. I knew the two answers. I knew both your answers before you even
asked anyway.
But it's the same people that made the Super Troopers movies, and they always the end of it, that the last drinking event is drinking out of Das Boot. Well, we found Das Boot. It even has cleats, and we saw it, and we went to someone where did you get that? They're like, every stand that sells draft beers. So that's why when Mayumbo went down, we all ran to find Das Boot. Take a guess. So this, I just for fun, because I love The Price is Right. You could buy this, and it comes with the beer, and then there's a cost for refills to fill this back up. How much do you think this was with the beer?
$10.
You told me on the thing. I'm not going to answer. I don't want to be that guy.
Well, that's the cost of a refill. $10 is the refill. So you got the second question. It was $20.
$20 for the entire thing. The boot with beer.
The boot with beer, $20.
Okay,
it was a deal. Now I lost the boot. My friend Imad, after the game, I lost it, and I was so sad. All my friends had boots. They were walking around. I was like a sad man without a boot. And there were three ladies sitting at the table we were at. My boot was there, and I went over and I was like, "Excuse me, ladies, is that your boot?" I said, "Is that Das Boot? Is that your Das Boot?" And they said no, and I got it back. And that I wanted that story to be more exciting. There was really nothing there, but I'm just I told Imad I was going to bring it up on the podcast that he lost it. All I said was, "I'm going to find the bathroom. Do not lose it." And he lost it.
Yeah, he lost it. But you found it.
I mean, he's a Patreon backer, so I can't talk too much bad things about him.
Right.
But we don't want to do that. But however, upgrade the membership now because of this. This was not acceptable, Imad. This was.
Well, I'm glad you found what you were looking for there.
I am.
And it was a $10 refill, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Well, Tommy found
not Ben's prices, but I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So nothing can beat Ben's prices.
No,
absolutely not.
But yeah, who else stood out on Saturday, or in a good way or a bad way, I should say?
I thought Brooks Lennon was steady. I thought he had another pretty decent game. Dylan, yeah, that's classic. The chug without the bubble, the turn. Anyway.
Well, Sydney doesn't understand the bubble, but I was talking about that bubble all day. We have to go home. We have to test the
physics,
bubble.
Man.
If the bubble comes up, absolutely. And then Bruno's saying Beer Fest and Euro Trip. Sorry. These guys know how to distract me. They know how to just get me off on totally different rants, but Das Boot. Now, shut up now. Talk about Brooks Lennon.
No,
bro. We talked about every player at this point, I think.
I know. I think everybody else was just, they did their thing. I mean, the back line got eaten alive on the second goal by Cincy. So whatever, fell apart there. But I thought Brooks put in another pretty good shift. I think Fatmob shafted him a little bit. What would y'all give him?
Well, it's not the first time they've shafted the player.
I mean,
probably I didn't really watch much of the match. Couldn't watch much of the match. I would guess a 7, or not a 7, maybe 6.5 or something like that. They would give him.
Okay.
based on what I know about the match, Tommy, you're there. What do you think, score-wise?
6.5.
It's okay. Maybe not shafted as much as I thought. 6.6.
Very close. Okay.
Oh, we're very close.
No assist, but
No.
yeah, the more guys he could get himself back up to speed with this team after again missing so much time, the better he'll be later on this season. I think this tactical setup really favors him. I've mentioned this before. It really favors him, and I think as he builds chemistry on the right, whoever's on the right and the right wing, whether it's Saba or anybody else, where chemistry can build. Well, he already has chemistry with Saba, but the more he can get himself up to speed, get fit, get healthy, trust that shoulder a little bit more, he'll be really good for this team. I really believe that. You take away things, he does give you the best turnout defensively, but from attacking standpoint, he's pretty good. So I would like to think that the bricks we see a month from now is a lot better than the bricks we're seeing now. And even now, it's not as bad as we feared. Well, he is good. He's good. And I believe in a month from now he'll be much better. That's kind of jumbled, but glad.
What so I'll ask one more as the player ratings, but what would you give Togashi?
6.7.
I think the assist just gets him into the 7 range. I would assume 7.3.
It's pretty
shafted.
High. What did you give him? 6.1? Oh, gosh.
That's crap, man.
6.2. Gosh, man.
Hockey assists are only worth half a point.
Come on, Fop Mob.
Yeah, they shafted him on that one.
Who had the highest score? Was it Riley?
Close. Actually, the
Latte Lot.
score,
Latte Lot.
It was not Latte Lot.
Who was it?
It was Saba Lobjanidze.
What's the score?
He got a 7.9. Latte Lot got a 7.6. Silva 6.9. Muyumba and Riley both with a 7.5. What do you think Miranchuk got?
5.9.
I just checked with all the MLS announcers, and they gave him a 1.
7.2
for Miranchuk. 7.2.
Yep,
he's pretty high up there in shots.
It's because
That's
of
the league.
It's because of the individual stat. Which I mean, to be fair, like the individual stats actually they're okay. I mean, he had 9 recoveries, he had 3 interceptions, he did a lot of defensive work. He also lost all 6 of his duels.
Duels.
Yeah. I don't know.
He always has an opportunity to score. There's always a really good opportunity for him. And a lot of times it's just the shots getting blocked.
Yeah.
He's had quite a few that have been blocked where he's had really good opportunities. But I was looking it up last night at 4 a.m. when I woke up from my slumber, and I was looking up like different stats, which by the way, I hate it. I took the MLS app. I guess it's just the 40-year-old in me. I'm like, where are the stats? Like,
42.
usually you just click the thing. You have to click the little center MLS logo to pull up stats. Oh, I hated that app.
Just go to the website.
I have an app on my phone that is taking memory. I was like, I'm going to use the app. Remember, you used to click it and it'd be like specific to Atlanta. You'd have all the colors, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is my own custom app. No, they got rid of that.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
They got rid of it. But yeah, I think he was like up there in the league in shots. I don't remember shots on target. He was there, but he's had opportunities. I think 3 out of the 4 games that he's had an opportunity to score a goal and just didn't get much on it, unfortunately.
He's played 433 minutes this year. And he's had 13 shots. He has an expected goals of 0.74.
Oh, I feel like we can manage that.
He's got 13 shots and 4 on target.
0.74?
Yeah, 0.74.
Wow.
1.5 on expected assists, so he's up at the top on that.
Yeah.
9 accurate long balls, 9 chances created. Those are his.
Well, but no goals,
main
no assists, though.
categories. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
that's what it's being judged. I appreciate you reading those out, but hey, ultimately,
but I agree. I mean, I think, but then when you start looking at like maybe why things are getting rated high by a computer, then it's the individual numbers, but it's the eye test, right? And I think part of what the eye test is like, I mean, he had the one off the post like 5 minutes in or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, that was good. Like, this is a good sign.
Yeah.
And then right after that, almost back to back, Atlanta, because Atlanta was doing a great job getting into the box yesterday, like especially early in the game. And twice, this man had Saba wide open on the right for a tap in and did not play the ball to him. And it's just like, I want you to succeed so badly.
Is he in his own head?
I kind of think so.
It's like he's afraid. It's like he's afraid to make a pass. He's afraid of Tyler. You and I have mentioned this with Henry. He's afraid to take guys on. It's just, I don't know if it is just fear to mess up, or like you guys were just saying, if he's too much in his head. But gosh, I hope he can figure it out. You're paying him too much money for him to not figure it out at this stage of his career here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we'll get comments like, "Why are you dogging out Mirror?" Because he gets paid a lot. Because he came over a lot. Because Garth Lagerwey said when he came in that we're back. Wait till you see his left foot. All that good stuff. We haven't seen any of that yet.
I forgot about that.
Consistent basis. So,
I mean, it would be the same in any sport, right? Like,
yeah,
you bring in the guy that you're paying a lot of money, he's going to get the brunt of the pressure. I mean, that's just how it is. But especially in soccer, when you're the main playmaker on the pitch, like that's just unfortunately part of the job description. Bruno said he was afraid of disappointing Tommy.
yeah.
Dan asked what his pass completion percentage was. It is 83.6%.
See, pass completion. Let me just give my take on that. That's kind of deceiving because it can be like 99.9. That one crap pass can lead to a goal the other way. That's the only pass that everybody's talking about. So
also,
I feel like there's a little deception in that.
Also, if you're playing the ball back a lot, or sideways, like you're going to complete more passes. So, I mean, there's definitely caveats to it. What I look at, I mean, he's had 9 accurate long balls out of his 18. So he's literally 50% on that. His cross accuracy is 37.5, which is actually pretty high in the league. So, numbers, it's not that the numbers aren't there for a lot of the stuff that he needs to be good at. It's just, I think the decision-making that is, maybe like you said, Tommy, maybe he's getting in his head a little bit. And I can't imagine, the media and the fans here in Atlanta, 3, 4 guys, 5 guys on a podcast and, on the websites and journalists and everything else are anything close to what he experienced in Italy.
Oh, my word.
So I hope he can. I want him to succeed so bad. I think he's got to get out of the funk that he's in.
Yeah.
Those Italians are crazy. If you come to look, you come to my family's Christmas party, all the Italians, everybody's just yelling. So I can imagine what those newspapers are like. All the newspapers, all sports writing is just all in caps because that's how they talk when they're really excited. Everything's in caps. Everybody's yelling until it's dinner time, and then everybody eats, and then they're just too tired to yell anymore. That's usually how my Italian holidays go. So I understand. How that goes.
If you get called out of the European press in the non-English speaking country, if they use an English headline, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Idiota. No, but that's a good point about Alexi. He's played, Atalanta. He's played with Atalanta. He's played with Torino. These are not small clubs in Italian football. Certainly Atalanta aren't. So the standard is just so high in Italy. And I don't know if it's PTSD because of it. I mean, we don't know the half of what he went through in Italy.
He seems a little guarded too.
Yeah.
I think in talking to him, I almost kind of wish and hope maybe he just doesn't pay attention to all the noise, but I think it kind of creeps in no matter what. And also, like, these players are going to be very critical of themselves as well because they know what they have to do. And I mean, I think in talking to him, he's very guarded and very careful about the way that he answers things.
Yeah.
So I think the pressure's there. I hope he sheds it entirely.
No,
I'm
definitely.
cheering for the guy. I really am.
Definitely. Any other thoughts from Saturday?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I have homework for everybody. If you're listening and you're showing up Wednesday,
homework. Gosh.
Tell us how you'd fix Atlanta United for this upcoming Saturday against New York. We'd love to hear ideas. I saw Gray and Henry going back and forth, and our private Discord that we're in, talking. They were. I think Henry said, "Here's how I fixed Atlanta United." But we want to hear how you want to fix it. So you've got a great article. 3 days. 3 days. Come up with some ideas. Bring it in. No smart ass answers. Save those for me. Save those for me. I think I got an alert from MLS, or maybe it was ESPN, that just like after the half ended, it just said the game was over. I forget which app it was, but it was like the game's over. I'm like, I just got a beer.
Oh yeah, we were in the watch along, and people were like, I didn't get that alert, but people were like, it says the game's over. I was like, what? They just said, screw it, this game, we're not having it.
When Miamba goes down, the game's over, everybody. Right. We apologize.
Somebody
the goat is done.
Hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gio this park, the lights kept going off.
Dude, that was creepy.
Yeah, it was.
That was like really creepy. That was like some Silent Hill, Resident Evil stuff going on.
It's the Undertaker.
Right. Don't. Tyler, any final thoughts? Come back home and win with us, yours.
Yeah, get home, win. Hang out with us tomorrow for MLS Monday.
Yes. Please do.
Hope that the U.S. doesn't get grouped next year in the World Cup in your own home.
Right. That'll be fun.
I might have to like turn the phone off.
We're starting a U.S. Specialty podcast
somewhere else
just so you can rant for like 20 minutes.
I will not be associated with that at all. The negativity that will come in these. I could deal with multiple years of Pineda. I could deal with that. I could deal with all those seasons. I could deal with Jurgen Damm. I could deal with Adam John talk. I could deal with it felt like 60 years of our Rouge talk. Sorry, Zilf and James. I will deal with all of that, but I will not deal with the U.S. national team or it being attached to it, or us being attached to it, because I don't want to see all the alerts of people responding back to our tweets. I can't deal with it at all.
Are you saying U.S. men's national team Twitter is toxic for whatever reason?
Let's pro-rel this and just talk about this at another time.
Relegate this discussion for another day.
Hit the music. Oregon's up 10-4. I need to go start yelling at the TV. Oh man, I was so safe at the Waffle House. 2 grilled cheeses, plain hash browns. Shut up, Tyler. And a chocolate milk.
Crap, dude.
How did that kill me? And then there's
because you got plain hash browns at a Waffle House.
You got plain hash browns.
That's what happened. There's no.
That should be illegal.
But Tina's got the superpower of getting everything but jalapenos, and she lives.
Because that's how they're supposed to be eaten.
All I wanted. Okay, real quick.
To get a plain waffle too, Tyler?
I didn't know it. No, I got 2 grilled cheeses and
grilled cheese at the Waffle House. Okay,
two grilled cheeses. All right, real quick.
Their patty melts off.
If it's an emergency, if you were driving on the freeway, you have sheets in your
no.
Oh, you don't even know what a sheets is?
I know what it is. We don't have it here in Georgia.
Okay, well, like what gas station? If every single gas station's on one exit, which one are you going to use the bathroom? Just curious.
Racetrack.
See, I don't know what that is.
Hashtag not ad. Hashtag not ad.
Actually, to be fair, yeah, racetrack is way better than QT in terms of the bathrooms, definitely.
Oh, well, maybe that's our sheets then. I picked the wrong one because there was only one on the exit, and man, it was like a saw bathroom. Like, I don't know, like how to get out of it, everything.
Is it one of those where you had to like go talk to the clerk to get like the key?
If that was, I would have been dead. I would have been dead to rights. I would not have been. I didn't have an extra 15 seconds to ask these guys for a key. Thank God. All right. Everyone have a good Sunday. The rest of their Sunday. Go Ducks.